Yeah, I just got cut off a few moments ago. It actually, I got a phone call right when I was in the middle of that rant. Right when I was right at the end of my last 5 seconds, it was the last 10 seconds I had left. A phone number that calls me once in a while that says account services comes up. And they always call at the most convenient times. It's amazing to me. They call whenever they want to shut me up, it seems like. Or whenever I'm looking at a website that might be, looking into what is sodium dioxide, for instance. That was actually blocked. The search results were blocked on Google for that. I don't know how that could even be accomplished. But I was on Google one day, and I searched for it. I got a bunch of results. And then I went back, 2 days later, I did a search for it again. And no results. It didn't exist. And then I got people. I put a question on Quora, or whatever that fucking site's called, Quora. I put a question on Quora.com, and I don't know how to pronounce that fucking stupid website today. Quora, Legend of Quora. Anyway, so I was simply looking something up, and I put a question on there about sodium dioxide, wondering what it is. And I got 3 answers, or 2 answers from 2 people that were not the right answers, but they claimed to be chemical people in the chemistry industry and stuff. And I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. These 2 answers are bullshit. They're trying to tell me there's no such thing as sodium dioxide. And they're claiming to be professionals. Now, why would they have posted that? I would think that would mean they're the people that might actually be trying to fucking make me think it doesn't exist. So those 2 accounts that answered that on my fucking Quora thing, my account, they actually made me even more fired up about it, because I know how chemistry works, some chemistry things, and I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. They're trying to tell me it doesn't exist. Sodium dioxide, and there's one person trying to tell me sodium peroxide is the same thing. No, it's not. That's 1-to-1 ratio. 1 sodium, 1 oxygen atom. So it's not the same thing. Sodium peroxide is something totally different. Dioxide means there's 2 oxygen atoms. So why are these supposed professionals with all these years experience and degrees that got these fucking fancy accounts on there? They're on there saying that they're telling me misinformation. It's very weird, isn't it? And I find out later that sodium dioxide is actually used to harden cement. So why are all these results on Google changing on me? Why was I getting blocked on seeing the results on Google? So, this is all the shit that I think about. So then I get a call one day. Somebody hacked my wife's Facebook Messenger and called me from a group video chat. They called and they did a group video chat, and it said, the reason I know it wasn't my wife is because it came up as it said the code for the chat room number was KVTU, and then a space, I think it was KVTU, some 4-letter thing like that. There was a space and a bunch of numbers, a string of numbers, and I was like, I looked it up, and I'm like, KVTU, what the hell is that? So I look up KVTU, and it says Russian college or something like that. Some kind of Russian college. The site was all in Russian. So I was like, what the hell does that mean? I was like, well, it's just a college. I mean, maybe they were trying to do some, I don't know. It just stuck in the back of my head. And when I answered the call, it just hung up on me right away after my face popped up for a second on the friggin' thing. So I was like, what in the hell would they do that? If they never called again, my wife said she didn't have any, she didn't see it on her end. It wasn't her. So it had to have been somebody and I already know somebody's hacking me and her phones for a while now, me and my wife's phone, because the hacking on you can tell by the fact that on our data plans online on AT&T, you can see that our data actually does a data dump every 2 hours on the minute on both our phones. every 2 hours on the minute, but it only for like 6 to 8 hours, usually off hours, like at night. So you have like 8 hours, you have like 6 hours in a row where it does that. That's like 6:11, and then it'll be 8:11, and then it'll be 10:11, and it's right to the minute. A data connection and a whole bunch of data, being transferred over the internet. I'm assuming transferred. I think it says uploaded, actually. Yes, it is. It does say it's being uploaded. So it's doing a data dump, and so there's hackers for sure, which is another reason why I walk around talking to my phone all the time. So now that when I get shit like that just happened, I'm on this thing here, and I got a phone call from account services trying to interrupt my show right there at the end there. And I had 5 seconds left on it. And right it stopped 5 seconds early because I get 15 minutes per segment. So that call that just came in, made to my phone, actually shut off. They had control of my phone there for a minute, I guess, during that call. They actually shut off my connection on here. And then sometimes my internet connection even just shuts off on me completely when I'm in the, I'm being hacked. There's no doubt about it. So that just lends more credence to all of this stuff. The more weird shit that happens like that, the more credence it lends to something bigger going on. And I get, everybody would think I'm crazy. They heard this shit, but now they heard the whole story, which is why I'm doing this now. I'm putting out everything out there. So whatever ends up happening, if I get killed by Russia or whatever the fuck, or if nothing happens at all, at least it's a good science experiment for, people studying brain cancer and how it makes you go crazy and stuff. They'll be able to use this as like a study of, falling into insanity in case I am just losing my mind. But I'm going to use, every ability I have to try and make sure my family is taken care of. And at this point, my only ability apparently is talking and going crazy. So, besides music, so I'm trying to use every avenue I can get. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we're all going to die. I'm going to die someday. Everybody's going to die someday. And that's the only reason I've gotten religious lately, because I'm trying to think of a way to not fear death. And I've always been a person that I pick things apart. I try to figure out reasons for why things are the way they are and how things work. And the one thing that's always baffled me is things like, with religion and stuff. Like, why? I always think to myself, why would God allow children to be born and just to die of cancer and these horrible things? And I started thinking, like, what kind of a God would do something like that? And like everybody thinks, and it makes you hate God. You start thinking, and then I'm like, well, if I'm going to be dying soon too, I got to make sense of this shit, because I'm going to be dead soon, and I need to know before I die, So I've been trying to make up kind of like my own, not my own religion, but my own personal spiritual belief system that will keep me from fearing death. And all this stuff just started, coming to me. And I'm not trying to say it's true or not, but I'm choosing to believe it for myself, because it keeps me sane. I'm trying to stay as sane and grounded as I can. And my wife's home. Hold on a second. I'm on the air. 1 second. My wife's home. So I'm going to go. I'm running out of time anyway. I got 6 seconds left here. I'm coming. I'm on the phone. I'm on the air. Okay, well, I only got 6 minutes left. Let me cut it so I can... No, I'm done with it. I mean, I'll turn it off. I could stop it early. I'll just go back on when I'm done. All right, I've said enough anyway. I was going on a rant there, a little too hardcore, but yeah, so the bottom line is I have accepted the fact that I'm going to die soon. But I haven't accepted the fact that I have to leave my family with nothing, because my whole life has kind of been just one eventful, almost making something, and falling apart after another. And that's pretty much how all of our lives always are. We're always trying to make something out of nothing, only to get right to the end and then screw it up. So now that I'm actually at the end, I'm going to push harder with every single damn thing I can think of that I've learned over the years. And at the same time, broadcast it live like this, almost like a Truman Show type thing, because not to that extreme, but and only audio, because I don't want people watching me all the time. I already feel like they are. And it could be, past damages from, substance abuse, or it could be cancer. I don't know, but I certainly feel like I'm always being watched, and why not fight back with it? Fight back with exactly what my fear is. Why, fight fire with fire. So the best way because fear is ultimately everybody's biggest fear itself. And that's, what they say, you have nothing to fear but fear itself. That's true. It is true, because once you're dead, there's nothing to fear anymore. So the whole time you were fearing something, you were really just fearing death, and you were fearing fear of death. And I had to start trying to find some kind of religious, spiritual belief system that makes sense to me. And because everything else out there it sounds ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous to me, but there's parts I read. Most of what I kind of read when I was stuck in jail, reading the Bible, because it's all we had to read. I hated every moment of it until I started to actually think into it. Like, well, what could they mean here? Everything seems to be getting lost in translation or something. I mean, it just it sounds close, but I started trying to put a modern thing on it, and I'm thinking like, what could this mean when they say like, God cast Satan out of heaven because it has a bolt of lightning, and I'm like, well, what was he really trying to do? I was like, well, this is what my whole thought process was. I was like, all right, bolt of lightning. That sounds like bolt of lightning sounds like like a computer type thing, like electricity, And he got sent, and I was like, maybe there's some truth to that. And I was like, well, it kind of sounds to me like Earth is like a friggin' a separate quarantine partition on a hard drive for a virus. And I was like, well, that's interesting. Maybe wouldn't it be cool if it actually meant that like Satan or evil or whatever. And then they call him the corruptor sometimes in the Bible too. They change his name a lot, the corruptor. And I was like, well, corruptor, that's what a virus does, a computer virus. It corrupts things. So I started like picking it apart, and I'm like, maybe that's what it means. And I was like, well, the fact that, like maybe heaven's like like a main hard drive operating system, and we're on a quarantine partition just off the heart. And I started like thinking about it, and it started making sense. I was like, well, I mean, if you think about it, computers are artwork. Computers are a form of everything humans have ever created, machinery, everything we've ever created was copied off of something in nature, and it replicates it. Even with chemistry, you look at like all the glass beakers and the round bottom flasks and all that stuff. Everything is made copying the human digestive system. So they're replicating, when they created all that porous-like glass shit, they actually were replicating functions within the human body to see how it works. So if everything is like that, art mimics life. Art equals life. You see it written sometimes, and that's what they're saying. That art, creation, anything we make as humans replicates something in nature. It's just the way it is. So computers, I started thinking, well, they're an art form, and art. They're creation. Maybe computers are replicating the very friggin' existence of everything itself, like the universe itself, because it's what it seems like. A computer is like, to me, computers seem like they're mimicking everything that's written in the Bible. It can be explained in computer technological terms. Like if you think of it as a computer, what you're reading in the Bible, and even like what is that? The firewall. In the pit of fire, and what do you do with a computer virus? You put it behind a firewall. I mean, it just all started making sense to me. And I started looking at it from that modern point of view, and I was like, damn, maybe I'm going to make my own damn religion out of this shit, because it's that fascinating to me. I mean, and that, I got to make sense of it because I'm going to be dying soon. Is the way I look at it. I need to be prepared. But all right, I'm running out of time. Cutting off. Bye-bye.